Hey everybody, I'm Tim, one of the hosts of the Watchers on the Couch podcast, and in this video we're going to break down the trailer for episode 8 of House of the Dragon. Just so you know, this is a no-book spoiler video. I have not read Fire and Blood. I don't know what's going to happen, but it is fun to speculate, and it's really hard to do that online right now. There's always somebody in the comment section quick to tell you what's going to happen next in the show when you never fucking asked them in the first place. You just want to talk about what you saw. That's okay. I hear you. Your foul-mouthed Westeros podcast daddy is here, so educated guesses only, no cheating. Let's get into the play-by-play promo for this Sunday's episode of House of the Dragon titled The Lord of the Tides. So opening up, we have a ship approaching. I never know which from the angle of these are, which it is. I don't know if this is Dragonstone or Driftmark. I'm going to assume it's Driftmark because the episode is titled Lord of the Tides. And then we get a shot here of Otto Hightower sitting on the Iron Throne, and his voiceover comes in with, "As the hand I speak with the king's voice on this matter," and it continues, "and all other matters." And as he's saying that, we get a shot here of Rhaenyra looking not pleased, and I don't know who they've cast for sure to be the older actors yet, so I'm assuming on the left here we have Jace, and I'm assuming on the right is Baela. Yeah, Otto on the throne, on this matter, and all other matters. And then we get to the next week, House of the Dragon. Dun, dun, dun. So we have another shot of Rhaenyra in front of the Iron Throne, or off to the side of the Iron Throne. We can see the swords in the background, where she says, "Tomorrow, the Hightowers will land their first blow." And as she's saying this, we get all these shots here. We have a shot of the entire Hightower family. We have, I'm assuming that's Aegon on the left, which is weird because he looks pretty much the same age as our previous actor. We have Aegon here right after that because he has an eye patch, looking older than everybody. He looks older than his mom. And then Helena or Helena, I should learn how to pronounce that. And Alicent looking very mopey. And then the king, or the hand of the king, Otto Hightower. And judging by some expressions here on Alicent, maybe she's faking sadness because the king is dead. But then we get this smug look of Aegon Targaryen II. And then I think this is the small council chamber, this 7-pointed star thing. And then we have Alicent in a chair as Rhaenyra begins to say, "Those vipers rule in my father's name." And then that line finishes as she's talking to Daemon, and we see a shot of Otto here sitting on the throne again. And then Daemon saying, "To King's Landing then." Then we get Daemon's voice over here as we see somebody in bed. The sea snake has taken a grave wound in battle in the stepstones. So I guess this might be Corlys Velaryon in the bed here. It's hard to tell from this distance. It looks like the head is bandaged. And we see some implements of surgery. We have a shot of Rhaenys here. The shot of Rhaenys looks a little weird. It looks very fish-eyed on the sides here, but maybe that's just not an optical illusion of the flames and the candles and stuff like that. You usually don't see it looks like it was shot with a GoPro. We have a shot here in the sparring yard, or the training yard, as Crispy Coleslaw and Aegon Targaryen are sparring as Crispin smashes a flail. I think that's a Morningstar flail. I think this is a flail. It's got a chain. Against Aemon's shield. And then we have Corlys's brother here talking to Rhaenys, who will take the Driftwood throne. And then we get this kind of wide shot as we look at King's Landing, and we have Viserys Targaryen's voiceover. "The crown cannot stand if the House of the Dragon remains divided." So Viserys Targaryen is still going to be alive in this episode, at least for a little bit. They are opening the doors of the keep, I think that's Luke. And then it's Jace behind him. Or, hey, who's coming through that door? We have Daemon snatching or picking up a dragon's egg. We have Otto Hightower getting up from his chair like he's stunned or something like that. It's probably Daemon strolling in like Daemon does. We get a voiceover who I believe the subtitles say speaker, but I'm assuming this is also Corlys's brother here saying this is a matter of blood, not ambition, as Jace gets really pissed and pounds a table and stands up as Aemond is behind him. We see somebody in a hoodie, and if somebody's in a hoodie, it's got to be Daemon. And it looks like, that's way too, that doesn't work at all. And I think this is Grey Worm, or not Grey Worm, jeez, Grey Worm, wrong show, dummy. This is the White Worm. This is his ex-girlfriend, I believe. And we have Rhaenyra telling Daemon that this is a trap. We have another shot here of Jace that we basically already saw, but this time from a different angle, is watching whoever's coming through that gate. Then Aemond in the trading yard saying nephews before we get to see some blows fly at a dinner. We have Jace decking Aemond while Aegon slams Luke's face into a table in front of either Baela or Rhaena. Otto Hightower here saying the threat of war looms as Corlys's brother and a retinue are the ones to pass through those doors. Drama ensues this Sunday on House of the Dragon. So, what can we extrapolate from this and speculate on here, my fellow non-book readers? Or maybe even my book readers. Who knows? There's no reason to expect that things in the show will exactly follow Fire and Blood. The credits say based on, and they've already changed some things from my understanding. We hear Viserys' voiceover, so he's still alive in this time jump. I don't know how much of a time jump we have here. Jason looked quite a bit older, late teens, early 20s for the actors, at least. So if we shave off a couple years, we'll say Jace is around the age Rhaenyra and Alicent were when we meet them at the beginning of the season, maybe. So we'll say Jace is probably 16 or 17 here. Luke, maybe 14 or 15. Aemond looks like he's fucking 30. And Aegon looks like he lost a few years. So anyway, if my math is right, then Aegon was 3 in episode 4. And Rhaenyra was on her suitor tour, her Kiss My Pussy tour for like 6 months. And then we have a 10-year jump. So if we round up for travel times, Aegon was 14 or 15 when we saw him in the last episode. The Aemon actor looks so much older than everybody that he can't be much older than Jace. Well, Jace had to be under 10 last episode. So this is probably a 6 or 7 year jump, knowing that they tend to cast slightly older actors, or in some cases, much older actors to play the younger characters. Anyone around my age, or starting to show at least a little gray, will probably remember how high school kids in TV and movies when we were growing up were all like fucking 30, 25 to 30. So anyway, that's another 6 to 7 years if Viserys has been rotting away but not dying. That's 20 years, my friends, of Viserys falling the fuck apart. But it sounds like this is where we're finally going to lose him. But I've been expecting that twice an episode for the last 3 episodes. For all I know, he gets fed up with his family's bullshit and he joins the Night King. So the king is either going to be dead, presumably, the king is either going to be dead or in such poor health that the Hightowers or the Greens have taken over. Otto is on the Iron Throne, and he claims that he speaks for the king in this matter and in all matters. So I'm assuming that this is going to be the pronouncement that Aegon will be heir instead of Rhaenyra, feeding into Rhaenyra saying that tomorrow the Hightowers will land their first blow. So that happens before. And then based on the title of this episode and also what we see here, there's some contention in Driftmark. We learn that Corlys has taken a nasty blow and is gravely injured. To the grave he's headed. I hope not, though. He's still the only character I actually like in this show that isn't dead or presumed dead. But currently Rhaenys is sitting on the throne, and there's a question of legitimacy from Corlys's brother about who will be heir to that. And I think that his voice that says this is, I think it's his voice that says this is a matter of blood, not ambition. So seems like he's trying to edge out Rhaenyra's kids from Driftmark too, based upon his bullshit eulogy that we got last episode where he's throwing shade. So it's coming from all sides for Rhaenyra's family. Not that I give much of a shit about Rhaenyra. We only root for her because she sucks slightly less than the Hightowers. You know, her kids don't deserve the shit they're getting unless they become assholes in this episode too, which is entirely possible. Nobody stays likable for long. So we may see some sort of mini dance of seahorses or something where Rhaenyra needs to decide whether she's going to honor Corlys's wishes and leave the passing of Driftmark to Luke, or if she's going to do what she wants and cut all ties with Rhaenyra and Daemon, who, in her eyes, has killed her kids. Regardless of whatever decision Rhaenys makes, though, Corlys's brother is going to arrive in King's Landing, where I assume he's going to throw support behind either the Greens, either with the support of Driftmark, or if not, his own splinter faction, his own little rebellion. We see Daemon swiping another egg from the dragon pit, I think is what's happening here. Maybe the one he stole before, since he gave it back. Anyway, Otto says, the threat of war looms, and we've got, for certain, a civil war coming for the Iron Throne between Rhaenyra's side and the Hightower side, and there's potentially another war for the Driftwood throne. But in this episode, I don't expect to see a lot of action outside of what we see right in the trailer. It's probably just going to be the kid beat up scene, Aegon and Aemon beating the shit out of Jace and Luke. I don't expect any major, the only death I'm expecting is Viserys, but I've been expecting that since episode 3, so who knows. But let me know your theories and speculations in the comments below. Please, no book spoilers. People that watch the show that haven't read Fire and Blood would like to enjoy talking about the show too, without everybody just blurting out, well, in the book this happens. Just calm the fuck down. All right, please. Thank you. Look for our full recap and review of this episode, episode 8, The Lord of the Tides, next week. Our episodes drop on Wednesday. You can find it right here on this YouTube channel. Where am I pointing at my lap? That's not where the YouTube channel is. Well, I guess that's where the screen ends, right? So here, which way? That way. On this YouTube channel. Or you can subscribe to the podcast anywhere that you can put on a black hoodie and steal podcasts. Subscribe if you'd like and join us, won't you?